Ever since I was a kid, I've wanted to be Indiana Jones. And now, thanks to Bethesda, I can finally live out my childhood dream as we get to play Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which brings back the classic Indiana Jones storytelling to immerse you in a game that takes place between Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Last Crusade. They even say, live the adventure as Indiana Jones, which means if I'm going to prepare to be Indiana Jones, I'm going to become Indiana Jones. So join me as I travel the globe to learn how to dress, fight, shoot, and even whip just like Indiana Jones, and then try to apply those skills in the game. Will it work out? Better stay tuned. Well, that's not good. This is your Geek Fix. Hi, I'm Jeremy. This is your Geek Fix, and you might be surprised to know that after that intro, this video is not sponsored. It's not monetized, and that means less disruptions for you, but also we're offering something else for free, and that is membership. Welcome to your Geek Fix, where we talk about everything from anime to movies, games, and prop collecting with the people who make and love it. We also have a weekly podcast, and we'll continue to make videos like this, where we travel to different geeky locations. But you're not going to see it unless you click that subscribe button. Make sure that you select all, so you know when we have new videos that come out. After all, it's free to join and would help us out immensely. So thanks in advance for joining, and we're excited to have you as a part of our community.
Circle must be complete to what? There's always a trigger.
Now, I should tell you that at this point in time, I haven't played the game yet. So I've had no exposure to the game, but I also know that I don't want to start to play it until I'm fully and completely prepared. And to do that, I reached out to a friend of ours, Dan Lanigan.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, seminal film for me. You know, Last Crusade, big movies for me. Obsessed with those movies.
Dan is not only the owner of many of the original costumes, but also many of the most iconic props.
From 2, 3, and actually I have a few Raiders things as well. Screen use or production involved, production made, yeah. My indie hat that I've got back here, it's still got Fuller's Earth on it from when it was used in Temple of Doom.
Even the way that he got some of them is something straight out of Indiana Jones.
The idol there in the middle, original idol, that's the one Brandon Ellinger tracked down in Hawaii. He had it in his collection, and then I convinced him to hand me the idol. I threw him the whip.
Now, while it would be really cool to have a screen-used outfit just like Dan does, I probably couldn't afford it. Vince and James went out to Prop Store last year and got to see one of the original whips with verification that Harrison Ford used it. And the whip alone was only about, I don't know, $525,000. So naturally, that's not in my budget. I'm not going to be able to get some of the original costumes to become more like Indy. And of course, I'm on kind of a tight budget, so I'm going to have to find some more frugal ways, and that means going online. To be honest, everything started out pretty good. It was not too hard. Shoes, pants, no problem. The shirt I got on Amazon for a great price. It is completely accurate. I know that you're not supposed to wear a shirt underneath it, but at the same time, it's a little itchy for me, and I'm kind of hypersensitive to some of that. But at the same time, I got this belt on a site that is dedicated to just Indiana Jones cosplay. But this is also where things got a little bit more complicated. I mean, there are sites that are just focused on getting you the specific items that you need for your cosplay as Indiana Jones. The problem is the price. They are not cheap. Again, I was trying to do this on a budget, so one thing that's kind of expensive, and at the same time I thought it should be easy to get, is the bag. Indiana Jones uses a World War II gas mask bag. And you'd think that they would just produce these things in high quantities. I mean, they're highly sought after, but at the same time, even the ones that are replicas are super expensive, and they generally aren't very accurate. You can get them at Disneyland, for example. None of those look right. There's actually a designer bag that's made to look just like it, and they are not cheap. But one of the benefits of eBay is that you can put in certain searches and let it continue to look for that item, and that's what I did. World War II gas mask bag, and sure enough, eventually I found this one, and when I got it, again, it smelled horrible, like somewhere between mold and mildew smell. I don't know. It did not smell right. I was also afraid to wash it at first because I thought it might come apart. But one problem with these bags is that the strap on it is not the one that they used for the film. So I did go back and buy a separate leather strap, again from one of the Indiana Jones sites, and it looks just right. The key to when you get that strap though is that we wanted to have this clip right about here on the chest. So it should be able to be adjustable to be long enough where it hangs off my side, but at the same time where that clip is somewhere in the middle. Now, we did look at the Indiana Jones site also for possibly getting the jacket, but again, it was too expensive. So when it came to the jacket, I did a lot of research because I was looking for something that was affordable, but also somewhat accurate, or I could make it more accurate. I knew for a fact that I wanted something that was leather and also that had the right cut to it and had the right details. It should hang down to a certain level below the belt and also should hang off the shoulder a little bit. So the seam shouldn't be right on the shoulder. We want it to be down here a little bit. And after reading a lot of reviews and looking at different sizes, I took a leap and I got this jacket. And when I first got it, it was in a plastic bag, which when I opened, it smelled so bad. The smell of leather that's been sealed away for probably quite a while is really hard to deal with. It was so strong I had to take it out to the garage. I actually left it hanging in my garage for about 2 months before I brought it in, and then I hung it up in my closet where it made all my clothes smell like it. And I have learned since making these purchases that if you have something that is leather, real leather, that you should probably treat it with certain oils and things. When you get it, it seals it in, it protects it, and it also gets rid of that smell. But nonetheless, I'm actually really happy with this one. It hangs just right. I think it looks just right on me, and it feels good. So I'm pretty happy. And the smell's pretty much gone away, so that's good. There's also a leather belt for the holster and the whip. The one that I bought comes with the whip's loop, and never really had much of a smell to it. Next came the holster. I was looking for one that was as close as I could get it to Indiana Jones for the right price, and I found this one. But when it arrived, it also smelled really bad. In this particular case, it smells like poop. I mean, I'm not even joking. Like, I've had 3 people smell it, and it every time poop. Again, I left it out in the garage and later treated it, and it's not. It still smells like poop. Yeah. But you have to be real close to it. Now, Indiana Jones used 2 different guns: the Smith & Wesson M1917 and the Smith & Wesson Mark II hand injector. Of course, I'm not going to buy an actual firearm. It would be hard for me to take on the plane. It would be hard for me to take to cons. So that means I need either a cosplay gun or some type of toy. And after a lot of looking, I found this one, which basically looked like that M1917. I bought it used. I think it's a Nerf gun, but it actually does revolve right here. And it looks a lot like the real thing. Now, the handle actually isn't even bad the way it is. There's just a couple of things that I would need to do to modify it. One is this piece right here that runs along the top would need to be removed. And the other is, I think it's just about this much too long, so I needed to cut that off. The downside to that is that this orange piece right here tells people that it is just a toy, that it's not an actual weapon. By cutting that off, I'm going to be putting at risk my, again, ability to take it to any type of Comic-Con or anything like that. But I did want to create something to look more accurate, so this is what I did. I sprayed it, treated it, and this is how it came out. Next, I need to find a whip. I just looked up Indiana Jones style bull whips, and I found this one, which was a pretty good price. Also, the ones that I could find, it was the one that was supposedly most likely to actually work like a real whip and actually be reliable. It does have a cracker on the end, all that. Doesn't smell weird. The hardest thing about the whip is being able to secure it on your side inside the loop and not have it come loose or slide out. So using zip ties or Velcro ties is kind of the key. I also kind of broke mine down a little bit more so it could bend enough where I could make that correct loop and it would stay on my side. And at that point, the only thing that I still needed was the most iconic piece that there is, the hat. Now I'll tell you something, I thought this was going to be one of the easiest things for me to get, and it was not. I mean, you'd think, because it's such an iconic hat, that everyone would want to buy one and that they'd make tons of them film accurate. But the truth be told, they're not. So here's a few things that you need to know about the hat. One is that it needs to be a fedora. And the brim of the hat is a very specific width and also doesn't curve upward on the sides. The top is a single crease and the front has a tight pinch to it. I was also told to get one that was beaver pelt, or at least fake beaver pelt. I found one that I thought looks perfect, and when it arrived, it looked like this. Couple things. One, you can see that the sides go up more like a Stetson. Also, the top has this teardrop shape. That's not right. So, I tried again. Spirit Halloween had a hat that kind of looked like it. I think it's supposed to be either for Indiana Jones or for Freddy Krueger. But at the same time, when I received it, it's a little closer to the last hat. But as you can see, again, teardrop shape. And the size isn't quite right. But that's okay, because I've been using it for a short film that we're making. People were commenting that some of the best ones to get were from Disney, like Disneyland. And so I reached out to try and get one of those, but they were kind of expensive. And I was surprised when I saw that the very same hat with the same interior was available through Tractor Supply. So I put it in order, it arrived to my local Tractor Supply, and when I got it, it's getting closer, kind of. But again, see the curved sides, the wrong length of the brim. It does have this Indiana Jones pin on it. The inside even says official Indiana Jones hat. But the top is also that teardrop shape. Again, it was a wash. Then I found this one. It wasn't cheap, but at the same time I was getting desperate. It did look like it had a lot more of the features. It looked like it was more accurate. I was pretty excited to get it because it looks exactly like the real thing. And what I received was this. It's kind of a diarrhea brown. On the inside, it does have the same kind of interior, sort of, that the one in the picture did. The top is a single crease, and it does have this pinch, but it's not the right shape and well, color or anything else. I wrote to the company and said, hey, this isn't even the right color. And they said, you know, those hats, when they get done, they can kind of be different colors. I'll also say this feels like cardboard. I'm pretty sure it's cardboard. After making multiple attempts, I'm going to tell you that this site is a scam and don't go there. At this point, I was feeling kind of depressed, down. The thing that I thought was going to be so easy wasn't easy, and there was a reason for that. And the reason is that Indiana Jones' hat, as it is in the film, is stupid looking. When I talked to different hat manufacturers, the reason why they said that even if they made Indiana Jones accurate hats at one point in time, they stopped, is because people wanted to return them. When they put them on, it didn't look the way that they thought it was supposed to look. And the reason for that is because Indiana Jones' hat was really tall and kind of squared off looking. And apparently that was intentional. In fact, Steven Spielberg said that he wanted the hat to look like that because he wanted it to look a little bit more like Abe Lincoln's hat. He wanted to have some kind of relation there. So people would buy them, they'd put them on, they'd want to return them, and pretty quickly hat companies said, no thanks. I still didn't want to pay a ton of money. And then one day I was on Temu, I'm like, it's pretty cheap. Why not? I pulled the trigger, and of course, how is it the hat that was the cheapest and easiest to get is the most accurate of any of the ones that I picked? It's still not quite right. I mean, again, it should be a bit taller. It should be more formed the whole way. But otherwise, this looks right. And the brim looks about right. It sits nicely on my head, and I like it. The color is good too. I did color the band black. And then if you want to know about how I went back and weathered it, there you go. So I was now looking like Indiana Jones, But outside of knowing to smile out of the corner of my mouth when I talk, I still didn't know how to be Indiana Jones. I mean, I still need to learn how to do the things that he can do, and that I'm going to have to do in the game. In the movies and game, Indy uses a boxing style of fighting. So I traveled to Austin, Texas to be trained by these guys.
My name's Tyson Mendeas, and if I was Indiana Jones, I'd use my inside fighting to tie him up and take him out.
My name is Sean Apperson, and if I was Indiana Jones, I would slip and throw the right hand.
Here at Archetype Boxing Club, Sean and Tyson are certified to instruct you in those classic boxing moves.
So, we'll start with the stance, okay? Are you lefty?
I know I'm right.
Okay. Yeah, you're gonna put your right leg back. Oh, right leg back. Okay. And you're gonna still feel a little bit lighter, so you're gonna feel like you got some width. You don't want to be like standing on a skateboard. Okay. You're gonna kind of hinge forward. Everything's gonna be exactly. Yeah. And you're gonna keep that left hand, right up by your eye. Okay. This one's gonna be lower, so you're gonna feel like they're a little bit sunken. Yeah. So you're all a little bit like here. You don't want to be upright. You want to feel like you can move and get out of the way, right? Okay. So what we're looking at is a classic. The reason they call this punch across the two is because it's the counter to the jab. Okay. So for instance, when people throw a jab at you, you're gonna slip your head to your right. Okay. You're gonna feel like this shoulder kind of bows forward like that. Yeah.
A little more like that, okay?
So what it does is when I go to throw the punch, it moves your head out of the way. See that?
Oh, wow.
Now you see how you're looking over that arm?
Yeah.
That's where you're gonna throw your right hand straight over. So that's why they call it a cross.
Okay.
So if I throw a punch and you get out of the way, and it doesn't have to miss you that much, you just kind of slip out of the way a little bit.
Okay.
And then you're gonna throw that counter punch straight over. Yep.
Okay.
Got it. Good slip, and there's your cross.
And it's slow, it's great.
Duck. And then you're gonna throw that as a reaction. So it's gonna be action, reaction.
Okay.
Slip.
Oh,
Yep, exactly. So now the second one, the right hand is gonna come, not the jab. So the right hand, if you throw the right hand at me, right, I'm gonna shelf it up. Okay. And I shelf it up by dropping under, right? And so as you throw it, I'm gonna bring it up. Okay. And see now I'm actually in a good position to counter.
Right.
So it's the same thing. I'm going straight down. As you throw, I go straight down. Exactly. Okay. And see what they call it a shelf because see how my arm's just floating there?
Okay.
And then you throw this one straight down. Right? So you're waiting, shelf. Now let it go first. So let me sit, now throw.
Sit.
Feel like it's like load, throw. Right? Okay. So yeah, there you go.
With the basics down, there was only one thing left to do: a training montage.
This is a training montage song. If you know the lyrics, you can sing along. Got to be the best, even if you're the best. You gotta get better than the rest, 'cause that also rhymes with best. It's a training montage song. It's a training montage song.
Feel like it's pump pump. So what we're gonna do is a 1-2, pump pump, little step, and then a 2. So pump pump, step, that little step we did in the ring. All right, pump pump, pull back, 2.
This is a training montage song. If you know the lyrics, you can sing along. Got to be the best, even if you're the best. You gotta get better than the rest, because that also rhymes with best. It's a training montage song. It's a training montage song.
And so I'm sandwiching shoulder and hand. Pump pump. Okay. Now 1-2, step, 2. That's pump pump, step, pump. Okay. So yeah. So you don't have to hit it hard, but you want to be moving. See how my head's moving? Yeah. So I'm slipping. So I'm punching, slipping, punching, slipping. Yeah, because you want to get back, you want that spring to go straight forward. Yeah, okay. That's it. That's a little harder than it was. See?
Yeah, I love that. Because it's not in the right spot when I want to hit it.
This is a training montage song. If you know the lyrics, you can sing along. Got to be the best. you're the best, you gotta get better than the rest, because that also rhymes with best. It's a training montage song. It's a training montage song. It's a training montage song. It's a training montage song.
You feel confident?
Yeah, I think I worked me all up to it.
Let's see it in live action, okay?
Okay.
Take your shot. Here we go.
ready?
Let's go. No. It's gonna be like this. Come on, now it's your turn. Come on, get up. Nope.
With my confidence up, I was now ready to learn my next skill. And to do that, I'd be traveling to Las Vegas, Nevada, where I'd meet up with my friends Chris and James to be trained by this guy.
I'm Dustin Clockerty, range safety officer at the range 702. If I was Indiana Jones, I would use my Glock 19 seat compensated for everyday carry.
The Range 702 is Las Vegas's ultimate shooting experience. And because Indy's guns are a little rare, Dustin will be training us on similar revolvers.
All right, sir, both here go with this is spin device 509. Right here, it rotates left. So when we load them, we load them from the right hand side, hop over here, ready to go. So I'll have you just reach out here like you're shaking gnats, nice and tight. Be around the trigger, set cam right up next to it, nice and smooth. You'll push your palm so you get, when you reach out there, it'll be right front. You bend your front knee, lean forward at the hip, top it here with the top there, evenly spaced down the middle. Ready to go. Be around the trigger when you're on target. What you think?
That was a lot more powerful. So him going bump like that, I don't see that happen.
Yes.
Without it going like that.
So when you work in the gun industry for a long time, you watch movies, you're like, that don't happen.
Yeah, right. No, to the casual.
Yeah.
He doesn't like, he even has his wrist kind of like that.
Shot a 500 back, right? And you saw how much it moved out of your hands when you were holding it two hands.
Right. Yeah, that was. Yeah, and I definitely felt
Get kids, right?
Yeah, the first. Well, it smells and feels different than But realize,
What's the size? Skip.
so, oh, that was smaller?
Here's the difference. You put them one in each hand. Weight difference. So if I go down in size and down in weight, it's gonna move a lot. Up in weight, up in size keeps the gun down.
I couldn't believe how powerful both guns were. I stood behind James and Chris as they shot, and I could still feel the impact on my chest.
As a kid, we stand back.
I sit right here.
Dustin also let me try his personal, more modern firearm.
But you see the difference? Like it's smaller. This was easier.
A lot easier.
Yeah.
With boxing and revolver training complete, it was now time to learn Indy's most iconic skill. And to do that, we would travel all the way down the street. Because let's face it, you can find everything in Las Vegas. And there we'd be trained by this guy.
My name's Kyle Peterson here. I'm co-owner of Western Stage Props. We sell high-quality products and theatrical equipment, including extremely high-end bullwhips. If I were Indiana Jones, I would probably use this Indiana Jones kangaroo hide bullwhip. This one is a 6-footer. 6 foot is my favorite length to crack, as it is the right durability and strength to get the loudest, most effective crack possible.
You're gonna teach me how to do cymbals, right?
Yes, we'll definitely.
Now, you'd think that cracking a whip would be easy, but what you want to do is the very thing you shouldn't do.
You kind of want to just go right into the ground with it.
Yeah.
Which is not good for the whip or your face. So I needed some help. I also found out that my whip at 10 feet wasn't very effective or easy to use. And they were nice enough to hook me up with the 6-foot whip.
I like, 6-foot whip. So we measure a whip from basically this point right here. This is the thong of the whip. Okay, the thong attaches to the fall. Okay, which is a thinner. In this case, this is a nylon whip, so this is just a piece of basically nylon paracord. And then that fall attaches to the cracker or the popper. That's the thing on the end, that kind of thing, and that's the part of the whip that is basically breaking the sound barrier when you crack it.
Right, okay.
So when you're cracking a whip, what happens is basically it's just using physics, right? This is a heavier part of the whip here, and we create this initial momentum with our crack, and as the whip gets lighter, the conservation of inertia, basically, it gets faster and faster. So by the time it gets to the very end of the whip, it's going the speed of sound, and it's creating like they say it's a mini sonic boom.
Right.
So in order to create that, what we need to do is we basically create a loop. That loop will travel, and it will travel and go on and on to the end of the whip and make that crack. You want to start with the whip by your side. You want to swing it back behind you. And you don't want to just swing it back and let it die, because then it won't do the crack. What you need to do is change direction 180 degrees. So you're going to want to imagine that you're cracking right in front of you. You want the whip to be right behind you when you change direction.
And I'll step aside.
So I want it behind me, and basically I'm switching right about when I think it's about to hit the back, right?
Just before that, yeah. Don't let it ever die. You gotta stay in motion the whole time.
Okay.
So, all right.
Oh,
yeah, great.
Yeah, that's pretty
You can
good.
go a little softer than that.
Okay, let me try this a little softer.
That is a little bit late.
Too slow?
A little slow.
There we go.
There you go. That's really working. And then the other one I think I was showing was this. This one is maybe a little bit harder sometimes, but basically what you're doing, same idea. You're making that loop, so you wait till it's behind you, and then you just cut across like that. Sometimes you might duck your head down a little bit. You don't really need to, but.
All right.
So let's give that a try. I'll stand back.
Okay, here we go. Oop, that's maybe not yet. Okay. Let's wait. I understood the concept. The problem was my body thinking that it knew how to do it better. Every time I would try, it would switch to auto mode, like, I got this.
Okay, close.
But it didn't. It didn't do it. But eventually...
That was, okay, I like the wrist motion.
Oh!
That was good. Yeah, there we are. There we are. Now we're getting it.
Woo!
Yeah.
Now that I was a lot more confident with the whip, we went outside to see if I can do the classic indie thing and grab stuff with it. When I wasn't barely missing or grabbing the camera stand,
Yeah. Fucking hell.
I was just knocking the objects out of the way. To grab anything, I needed to stay still enough that the whip would actually wrap around it like this, and that way I could pull it away. But on the stand, it was just too easy to move them and knock them out of the way.
Hold it like that.
So I tried having someone hold them.
Hold completely still. Ready?
And while it kind of worked, I wouldn't recommend it.
Ready?
So we went down to a local park to use a stationary pole.
Oh, that's it. It did it. See that?
So the question is, can I do that up there? And wow, it's really like it's hardcore. It is full on.
Oh, there it goes. Gee whiz. Okay. Up close. Oh no! Lost my cracker on it.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah. That's it, right there. Woo! Look at me. Ow. Okay. All right. Let's see if I can hold my weight. There we go. It does it. All right, so I think I'm ready to play the game.
I bought the collector's edition that comes with the cool globe that opens when you put the plane in the right spot. It even comes with props from the game. What? Best part was, it comes with a 3-day early access. But that was today, and I only got an email saying that it's going to be delayed. Unfortunately, the early access code is on one of the props, and that won't be arriving until next week. So they gave me a link to fill out a form and also submit a bunch of my receipts and tracking. And 24 hours later, I get the code, put it into my Steam account, and I set it so that when it's downloaded, it will just start. And so any second now, it's just gonna start. And I'm kind of freaking out. Oh boy, here it comes. Well, that's not good. So apparently they built ray tracing into the game, and so that means it won't run on my GTX video card. I thought I tried my laptop, but apparently it's also GTX supported. I need an RTX in the 40 series, and it's not like I'm gonna drive to another city just to buy one to play the game, right? This is the best one that they had in stock. I will miss the green glow of my old GPU. But the question is, will it run this time? Woo! Yeah, there it is. Let me say I have been playing for a few hours now, and I love this game. To punch is simple. Just pull this trigger for the right fist, this one for the left fist. Press this trigger to use the whip. To use my gun, I have to push this button to get into my inventory. Press this button to shoot. I appreciate that when I fire, I can actually feel it in my controller, and that they portray the kickback on screen. When you run out of bullets, no problem. You just push this button to flip it around, and then you can use it like any other item in the game as a weapon. The whip is probably the easiest thing to use. Just point and whip. I thought the boxing was straightforward, but I kept getting knocked out and losing fights. And then I remembered.
I would slip and throw the right hand.
Click this trigger and boom. And suddenly I was doing a lot better. The thing that Sean and Tyson never taught me is how to fight dirty. When you're ganged up on, just look down and kick people in the shins, and suddenly you'll be doing pretty well. So what do you think? Do you have the skills it takes? Comment below, like and subscribe. I gotta be going after all. This belongs in a museum.
Too big. It's too much.
Yeah, completely.
Now, I mean, now. No,
yeah,
cut it now.
That was a good one. Well, we got the doorbell though in the background, right?
Yeah, that's a good.
And now the train is behind us.
My name's Tyson Mendeas.
You got time. No worries.
Here we go again.
Yeah.
That's good. Let's get another angle.
Another angle.
Oh. That's good.
All right.